Hello, so today I'm going to talk you through how to use a mind map. Now, I'm a science teacher, so I'm going to use the diseases topic as my example. So this is one that I've done myself, talking through all the different areas of disease, and there's a lot of information jam-packed onto this one piece of paper. Now, there are different types of revision that you can do, and the first thing that we need to have a look at is what mind maps are good at and what they're not so good at. Mind maps are really useful for topics where all of the information is really straightforward, but there's a lot of it. If you're trying to learn information and your teacher has said to you, you just have to learn it, this is a really good topic for a mind map. It takes quite a while to make one of these and really get to grips with the ideas. So you want to start doing mind maps fairly early on in your revision so that you can add extra things like exam practice on top once you're ready. Mind maps are not so good for topics that you find tricky, or topics that are trying to bring together multiple ideas or in a lot of detail that's complicated. And a mind map is brilliant revision, but it won't be preparing you for how to answer exam questions. So you'd need to do that afterwards. If you're going to do a mind map, you're going to need some plain paper. You're going to need your notes. This is not the same as other types of revision. When you are doing a mind map, you are allowed all of your notes, all of your textbooks, everything out in front of you in the first stage. So if you haven't got those with you, you're really going to struggle. You need lots of pretty colour pens and at least 15 minutes to sit down with your piece of paper with all of your books spread out so that you can put your things together. So this is where I began. I started off with my central word in the middle and then all of my topics around the outside. Now, if you've got no idea where to start, have a look in your textbook. The same titles as they've used in your textbook would make really good subtopics. So when I had a look in my revision guide, one of the pages was called drug development. One of those pages was called antibiotics and painkillers. So that's why I chose those subtopics from there. So if you're not sure, check in your revision guide and use the same subtopics as they've used. So I've now zoomed in onto one of my areas. So this is my pathogen section. So I've got cause diseases, and I've drawn myself a little magnifying glass on my microorganism to help me remember that. Mind maps are all about putting in as many colours and as many pictures as you possibly can. You are wanting to cue your memory. A cue for your memory is like a little baby clue helping you to trigger and helping you to remember what you're trying to learn. So on viruses, the virus particles themselves get hidden inside the host cells. So I've drawn a little eye so I can't see it, and I've drawn some toast as well to remind me that that's called the host cell. The idea is the more images you include, the more colours you include, the easier it will be for you to see in your mind's eye what your revision looks like. So you do that for the entirety of your topic. Am I done yet? Not even vaguely. You've put all of the information together in one place, but you haven't actually learned it yet. So the next stage that you have to do is learn your mind map off by heart. Now for this one, that's a little bit daunting. So you might want to do it section by section instead. So I'm going to focus on that top right hand corner that we talked about before. So I'm looking at it, talking it through in my mind and out loud. That will also help to cue your brain to remember things. And then when I think I've got it, I'm going to grab a new piece of paper and scribble down as much as I can remember. So this was my attempt. And as I said, it was scribble. So I've written a question mark next to one of these places because I knew there was something else I couldn't remember. I knew there was a third thing that needed to go up in that corner. And I've also written a question mark next to the word toxins because I think that's the right answer, but I wasn't 100% sure. So that's the bit that I want to go back and check. Happy with that, I then get out my original version and compare. And this is what happened. Toxins was right, but I'm still highlighting it because it's a section that I wasn't completely sure of. The question mark at the top that I wasn't sure about at all, that was cell damage. And then I've also highlighted the cause disease section because I forgot to say microorganism, and therefore that's actually not quite right. So these were the three sections that I need to go back and have a look at. So you do that either as the entire picture in one go or in stages, and then go back to your original mind map and highlight those few little areas that you still need to work on. When you then know that those few little areas are that you need to revise, you can do it again. Revision is all about repetition. So making your mind map is going to be 10-15 minutes. Brilliant. Then you have a little rest. And then you revise it and try and reproduce it. Then you wait a couple more days and you try and reproduce it again, but focusing back on those bits where we had the highlighted sections, because those highlighted sections were the ones that we needed to focus on more. So final tips then. If you're going to make yourself a mind map, that's brilliant. But if you're not going to spend the time learning it off by heart, it isn't going to be effective revision yet. When you go back the second time and you've already got those highlighted sections, that's where you need to focus your time and your effort. Revision is all about getting stuff into your head so that you can get it out of your head when you need to. And that scrappy version that you do on a piece of paper is the practice of getting things out of your head. And that's where the real impact is going to come.